Alright, so now we're gonna work on dividing fractions. So the thing to remember about dividing fractions is that we change division to multiplication, and we always do the reciprocal of the second fraction. And reciprocal just means to flip. Okay, this whole number 20, we're gonna write it as a fraction over 1. So when I first write this, I'm gonna rewrite it first. We'll do 20 over 1 divided by 2/5. So now what I want to do when I start showing my work, I'm going to write this as multiplication, and I'm going to flip the second fraction. The first fraction stays the same. And this is just a process that you'll have to practice to get better at it, but it's pretty much the same thing. Regardless of the numbers, the key thing is to change division and multiplication and flip the second fraction. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and multiply, and there's two things you can do. Either you can multiply straight across, okay, and then simplify, or you can simplify along the way, and when you get your final answer, it'll already be simplified. So I'll do both ways here. Alright, so this first one I'm just going to go ahead and multiply straight across. So top times the top, bottom times the bottom. 20 times 5 is 100. 1 times 2 is 2. And now when I simplify this, that's just going to equal 50. Okay. Now, the other way to do this is to simplify along the way. Okay. So what that means is that we're going to identify a numerator and a denominator that we can factor out or divide out the same number. And in this case, it's going to be 20 and 2. We don't want to use 1 with any numerator. Use 1 because 1 is a small number to take out of other fractions, and we want bigger numbers than 1. So as long as it's not 1. So in this case, like I said, it could be 2 and 20, because 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. So I'm going to rewrite that. That's going to be 10 over 1 times 5 over 1, and 10 times 5 is 50. 1 times 1 is 1, and that still just simplifies to 50. So we get the same answer either way. Okay. Now let's check out another problem. Now let's say if we had 7/8, writing too hard, divided by 3/4. Okay, once again, the main thing to do here is to make sure that we change division to multiplication and we flip the second fraction. The first fraction stays the same. So this would be 7/8 times 4/3. And what I'll do up here is I'll write those two steps down. Change division to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Alright, so that's what I'm doing each time. When I go back up here and write that here too. Alright. So now that I've done those two things, I can just multiply top times the top, bottom times the bottom. Now, once again, we have something we can do here. We can go back and do this one of two ways. Okay, only because we have an 8 and a 4 here that 4 goes into both of them. 2 goes into both of them as well, but you always want to try to get the largest number. So what I'll do is I'll show that work 2 different ways. Now the first way is always to just multiply straight across, top times the top, bottom times the bottom. So 7 times 4, that's going to make 28, and 8 times 3, that's going to make 24. Now since both of these are even, 2 does go into all even numbers, but we can try to find something higher, and it would be 4. Okay, but if you don't remember, 2 goes into all even numbers. So the best number here would be to do 4. So divide 4 out of both, and that's going to give you 7/6. Okay. Now that's if we just multiply it, right? Now we're going to see what happens if we simplify this before we do it. As we said before, 4 goes into 4 and 4 goes into 8. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is we're going to rewrite this. So that's really 7/2 times 1/3. And when we multiply those, 7 times 1, that's 7. 2 times 3, that's 6. We still end up with the same answer. Alright, so that's how you divide fractions. Make sure you can see that. Hope this helped out. Alright.